Kedareshwara temple is situated towards the south end of the Hoysaleshwara temple at a distance of around 500 to 600 meters. If you have your own vehicle, you can drive down to that place quite quickly. If not, you can either choose to walk or hop on to a rickshaw. Once you come out of the main gate to the main road, you need to take left and then continue for half a kilometer. You will first see the complex of Jain temples on your right. You can cover it on your way back. The temple was constructed by Hoysala king Veeraballala II and his queen Ketala Devi, and the main deity is Lord Shiva. The temple is protected as a monument of national importance by the Archaeological Survey of India. The temple stands on the platform called Jagati, which is typically 5 to 6 feet in height and which can be reached by a flight of steps. Hoysala temples normally don't provide a path around the inner sanctum or Garbhagriha. However, the platform provides this convenience in addition to giving the onlookers a good view of the wall relief and sculptures. You will enter the temple premises from the north side. The outlay of the main shrine or Vimana is star-shaped with 2 smaller shrines that have perforated windows on the sides. This temple also follows the standard Hoysala temple plan, creating multiple projections and recesses in the outer walls. In these projections, the Hoysala architects created repetitive decorative sculptures and reliefs called architectural articulation. Since the temple has 3 shrines, the temple is referred as a Trikuta, a 3-shrined structure. Often in Trikutas, only the central shrine has a tower while the lateral shrines are virtually hidden behind the thick outer walls and appear to be a part of the hall itself. Please reach the entrance of the temple that is on the eastern side. We will start our temple exterior tour from here. As you start walking towards your left, you will observe that the base of the temple wall is divided into several frenzies of carvings. There are 9 layers here. First one is made of beautifully sculpted elephants. The second layer is of horses in running posture. Third one is a decorative layer. Fourth layer is dedicated to furious lion carvings. Fifth layer is another decorative layer. Sixth layer is very interesting. It contains carvings of the stories from great Indian epics like Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavata. Seventh layer is carved with mythical creature Makara. Eighth layer is carved with beautiful carvings of peacock. The last layer consists of a series of miniature shrine-like carvings. On top of the last layer, there is a parapet-like structure made in stone. The portion between this layer and the ceiling is covered by perforated stone structure. If you observe, you will see that several pieces of the 9 layers are either completely missing or damaged to a great extent. This is because of the invasions in the early 14th century, and also many parts of the temples were looted and plundered in the 17th and the 18th centuries. A lot of damage is also because of the wear and tear in the last 800 years. The big statues and sculptures start from the periphery of the first sanctum sanctorum. The sculptures or the exterior of the wall are as beautiful and intricate as that of Belur, Halebeedu and Somnathpura's signature Hoysala temples. Even though this is a temple dedicated to Shiva, you can see a lot of Vishnu forms on the temple exteriors. More prominent sculptures that you can find on the first wall are that of dancing Ganesha, and towards the corner you can find a statue of the third incarnation of Vishnu, that is Varaha, slaying Hiranyaksha and saving goddess Earth. You can see that Hiranyaksha is lying on the ground and goddess Earth is in one of the hands of Lord Vishnu in the Varaha form. As you go around the corner, the first statue that you see is of Parvati in a dancing position. Just next to this is Uma Maheshwar statue.